The red zone offense is documented. It's not good, and Kyle Shanahan is responsible for that. The Niners when they lose, they often give up big leads. They did it in the Super Bowl, and they've done it again twice this year to teams that aren't good. They're 2-3. He's in year 8. Head coaches all get tuned out eventually. Do you think Kyle Shanahan is in danger of losing this locker room? And do you think his seat is beginning to heat up for the first time in his career?
The expectations are high. So there's no doubt sitting where they're at right now after 5 games at 2-3. There's no doubt that his seat is getting hotter. If you say that his seat's not getting hotter, you're just being obstinate at this point. Here's the other factor that nobody's going to talk about. The 49ers have the 5th toughest remaining schedule. So they've dug themselves a pretty big hole, and they've got the 5th toughest schedule left still yet to play. So they've lost 3 out of 4. They don't look good in any of the 3 phases coming out of this last game. And they've got a short turnaround against a team that's lost 2 in a row, will be at home, and who has a defensive coordinator who seems to have Kyle's number. And the Niners have to win this game because the Chiefs are looming and the 5th toughest schedule is looming. So I don't think he's lost the room because I think the guys still very much believe in him. You got to remember this. He is an offensive coach, and his offense scores 30 a game and has since Brock Purdy has shown up. So it's going to take more than what's happened thus far to make these guys lose their belief. But it's a gradual thing. It's a gradual thing. And I've never heard anybody really openly question Kyle, but Mike Silver has three different Niner players who told him that, like, what the hell's going on, kind of a thing.
Well, this year their offense is down to 25 points per game. It's still scoring, but I mean they're not scoring in the red zone, and these collapses they got to go at the feet of someone. And I mean it's not going to be Nick Bosa coming out saying, "Yeah, blame me that we blew a 10-point lead."
But he deserves blame too. I mean, since you brought his name up, I'm going to mention him. He missed 3 tackles yesterday. He's not TJ Watt. All right. He's not Aiden Hutchinson. He's a clear step behind those guys right now. He had 2 pressures. So like 1 for you and 1 for me. I mean, that's it. This guy has not played like the player that won the Defensive Player of the Year award just 2 years ago. So that's real. I'm not saying that, he's the problem on D it's all Nick. It's not. They got problems up and down. But the Niner D-line against Arizona this week had 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, 9 pressures, and most of that was Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
Nick did have a pick.
This is why I look at it. Is like 4 years ago, the Niners lost the Super Bowl, and then they had a bad season in 2020. They were 6-10. It kind of felt like the whole season was a free year for Kyle Shanahan. He was working with house money. He just got an extension. He was ahead of schedule. He had so much promise. It didn't matter what happened in that year after the Super Bowl. This year, it feels like it matters. I don't think he can go 6-11. I don't think he can go 7-10. If he does that this year, I'm not sure he keeps his job. Maybe he does, but I think
your source said that if he didn't win the Super Bowl, he'd be out.
He didn't. No. My source didn't say that. He didn't say that
okay.
Kyle specifically would be out. He said heads would roll. Maybe there could be John. Right, maybe it could be someone lower. If he specifically misses the playoffs, he could be out. And I'm not saying I heard that from a source. It just seems like that's the vibe around the facility right now. I don't know.
Which would be terrifying, I think, to most Niner fans, because look what happened when they got rid of Jim Harbaugh. It's not just, hey, we don't like what's going on, we want to change the jockey. Okay. But do you believe that Jed and Dr. John and do you believe that they have somebody ready and waiting who's going to be better? I would say the chances that they could pick somebody who's better is probably about 2%.
I'd take Ben Johnson.
I have no confidence.
If they want like a consultant, I would recommend Ben Johnson. I wouldn't do the Bill Belichick. I wouldn't do Bill Belichick. I think he's a little bit old. I think he's a little bit crotchety. I don't think he relates that well to young players, although he's trying to Furbish's image on the Pat McAfee show weekly, which is hilarious to me.
I would need a serious Belichick OC. I don't know who that would be.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Belichick. Ben Johnson to me is interesting. Maybe you get Ben Johnson and Robert Saleh.
Is going from Kyle Shanahan to Robert Saleh going to be met?
You could get a defensive coordinator. You could get good DCs are available, but good offensive coaches are hard to find. I feel like Ben Johnson is like the pick, and everyone's been waiting for him. He could have went to Washington this year. Probably should have went to Washington this year. You think he regrets not going to Washington this year?
He should. Good. He should. Anybody should regret. Maybe even Ayuk should regret not partnering with Jaden Daniels.
Seriously,
Jaden Daniels right now is the man.